you for joining me on today. Who are you? How are you?
Nah, I feel you. Nah, I like how you worded that question too. But today I'm good. Today I'm happy. G.Pack. I took a young black painter from Maryland, just chilling, just trying to switch it up and change the game. But
For everyone,
everything's good.
good. Okay. For everyone that knows you, because everyone, we go back to UMD days.
Right.
So I know you. Say it so I don't mess it up. I've always wondered if I say Gentry, but I feel like that's wrong.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's my name, Gentry. Yeah.
Okay, I don't get out of your head. Like, I need to get out.
Nah, I feel you. Nah, that's exactly what it is for sure.
I actually read an interview where it was like you explained how you got
Right.
your name. And it's funny because I never thought too deep. I feel like because I know your name, but for everybody who wonders about it, can you let them know how did you?
Yeah. So G.Pack was just it's just my first and last name, Gentry Pack, and I just felt like it was simple, it was clean. I got it from like my parents that were in the military, you know what I mean? You'd always see like R-Pack and A.Pack everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm gonna just be G.Pack, I'm just gonna chill. But yeah.
So okay, military. So did you like bounce around?
Not really, no. Well, my older sister, she definitely did. You know what I mean? Because that's back when they were in like like Key West, and then like my dad would go to like Japan, something crazy. But luckily when I was born, everything was like pretty solid. I was just chilling. But yeah.
Okay, so I actually don't know this. So I didn't know that. I think that's just interesting. And then the other thing is, where are you like from in Maryland?
So I'm from Howard County, like born in Howard County Hospital, all that. Went to school in Howard County, which was, what it was. And then even right now I'm in Howard County. I'm actually about to move to Baltimore, probably within the next couple of days or so. So that's super hype.
Why do I feel like, okay, I know Howard, but I also feel like, like Columbia, like okay.
Exactly. Nah, I feel you though, because it's like not too. I mean, the thing that's weird is like there's people here from Howard County that are like actually tough, but like you just kind of don't really think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So okay, I just wanted to. I was like, where is he from? I didn't know that. But with everything going on, like, how are you doing? How are you keeping your soul like prospering? Where are you finding like your pockets of joy in?
Right. Brea, I'm gonna keep it 1,000% honest with you.
Please do.
like COVID-19 was definitely a tragedy, yo. And I feel like you know what I'm about to say, but like it's a tragedy. I don't take that lightly. You know, people are really out there, suffering, right? But for me personally, like the way it affected me, the way it shut down every type of schedule, time became a thing again. We could like, it was almost like the freedom I was looking for like so long. Yeah. So I'm not gonna lie to you, like quarantine has been honestly like one of the best times like of my whole life. So
I feel like me and my cousin was actually talking about this, like you said, there's tragedy all around, even with like Black Lives Matter movement. There's just a lot going on. But when it comes to like when COVID happened, kind of what you said, time. Like I needed
it was ours again. Like we could do what we wanted to do, what we needed to do.
Exactly. So with that, like, I feel like you're painting. I feel like you're doing all of that. But like, is there what are like some differences between then and now when it comes to just like your artistry and your schedule with that in that sense?
I think back when everything was normal, and I work in 9 to 5. I'm like a graphic designer in Baltimore. But even with that, which is cool, even with that, I only basically get half of the day to really devote it to like whatever like my soul is telling me to do. You know what I mean? So once that was completely cut in half, it was almost like, okay, I can work on painting here. I can work on the gallery show in these hours. I can make some clothes when I'm falling asleep. I might do a skateboard tomorrow. Like, it's just like, it was just time to just really branch out and just touch everything I've been waiting for. So.
And I'm actually going to get into that because like if you go on his website, and I'll probably put it up here, you mentioning skateboards and like clothing, and I'm like, you definitely have ventured out from just like a canvas and just like got a lot going on. But before we get there, so everyone, like I said, I met G.Pack back in undergrad. But even the day where it was like, I forget what painting class it was, but you showed up. I'm always hyped because like when I was taking the gen ed painting classes or like the intro ones, you probably know in other ones, like it's nothing but white or Asian at UMD. It was nothing but white or Asian.
That is true.
Every time another Black girl or Black boy popped up, I was hyped as hell.
Honestly, I feel you. I totally feel that. That's real though. That's very real.
very real, especially when you, like, I don't think the classes we had together, I don't think I was doing, like, when I first started out, like, at UMD and painting classes, I did a lot of, like, Black subjects, or I feel like I was working with brown a lot. When it came to critique, it was like, you know, like, they feel you, but they don't, like,
Yeah, no, they can't connect with you. Yeah, for
exactly.
sure.
So that's why I would be like, oh, yes, like, I'm not alone. But
I
going
feel
back to that, like, I'm actually curious. Like, I read that you like had cousins that was into art, so that was always a thing. You always like drew or something. But when it comes to like your first painting class, like, where were you at, and how did you even sign up for that? Like, just in your journey of things.
I think first painting class I really remember.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I definitely had them in middle school. You know what I mean? But I think when I really started to really put myself into it, I would say probably like freshman year of high school. You know what I mean? Because like I was becoming a man, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like I'm just like, well, I like to draw, so let me just try and mess around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool, and I really just stuck with it through high school. But even still, I don't feel like painting really became like my thing until later in college. You know what I mean?
What
So
was your major?
I started out as an architecture major because I knew I could draw. You know what I
I didn't
mean?
know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I started out, but like school got a lot for me to the point where like I'm a smart kid. Like I was just like not really like hitting it like I was supposed to basically.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually it got to a point where like your sophomore year in architecture, you apply for studio and there's only a certain amount of spots. So it's like kind of competitive type shit. Like people are like, you know,
I didn't know that.
screaming. So anyway, so I applied. I don't even expect to get in because my grades were horrible. My grades were shot. Like, it's not
Yeah.
a joke. You know what I mean?
You were like, no, you're not
It
alone.
was shot. And then I remember, like, you know, like the dean of the architecture school, whoever, whatever it was, he called me in. He was like, listen, he like almost like roasted me for like 5 minutes. He was like, this is unacceptable, yada, 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 yada.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, but you're the best artist here, so we're going to let you in. And I was like, damn. But then my lazy ass forgot to confirm the email. So I was like, I guess I'm an art major. But it worked out. It just worked. It was just like certain things, just like, I don't know. I feel like God just had to be like, yo, no, you're going to do it the way I want you to do it. And I was
There's
just
a
like,
reason.
all right, bro, you want me to paint? I'm going to paint.
Yeah. No, that's interesting because I didn't know you were architecture major, but that like connects the dots. So like
Right.
when you started taking, I guess, more art studio classes, that was like from that. Or
Not
yeah.
even. It was more so like, I think the reason why I say that time is because like I was taking classes like physics and calculus and all this like, you know, structural stuff that I was like, you know what, I need to just paint on my own time.
Yeah.
And like I feel like that's when you start like you could take as many classes as you want, but like once you come home and you're like, nah, I just want to do this, that's when you get solid. So
oh, that's so cool. I'm just like, okay, insightful to GPack.
for sure.
So just even venturing, like, how has so from undergrad painting classes, how has your journey been since then, like within art? Like whether it's gallery shows,
Right.
painting, whatever, just let us in.
I think it's just everything is so educational. You know what I mean? It's like every time you do something for the first time, like obviously you're scared, but you learn so much. You know what I mean? So I think from leaving school and then you know starting to do my own thing, you know, launching my website for the first time, learning what's hitting, what's not. You know what I mean? Where do I want to invest my time? Where do I want to put my money? Blase. But I think the biggest eye opening definitely the gallery scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like it's with any industry, it's like it's so legit, but it's also so not legit at the same time. Like, wow, you gotta figure out how you want to navigate it because there's really no rules. You know what I mean?
Has there been like a favorite gallery show?
I think, because honestly, sometimes I don't even go to all of them now. You know what I mean? Because like if it's just like one painting there, I'm just like, it's cool. You know what I mean? But what was I gonna say? I think the very first one where I sold, which I think was my first one ever, that was bizarre. Because that's when you see people who don't know you, don't care about you, but come in and are like hypnotized by something that you made.
I would say they're connecting with your art, like literally.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, the real thing is right here, but like, okay, whatever. So like, they're just locked into it. And then again, yeah, when I saw my first piece, it was like Young Thug, like doing some like super ratchet like shit, flipping you off, sipping lean and stuff. And this white dude came in and bought it within the first like 10 minutes. Like, he was like balling like that. And I was just like, man, it was kind of crazy. I was like, wow. And then he was gone. And
Do you like I'm wondering, like, people who have like collected your work, do they try to like contact you or stay in touch or anything like that since even the
Yeah, nah, for sure, for sure. Honestly, it's gotten to the point where it's so many,
mm-hmm.
and I said like as a blessing for real, but like it's so
Yeah,
many
I
people
have to
that
be
have
like,
done it
I love
before.
hearing that.
You know what I mean? I forget about it. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh damn, I did paint you like this, and this. Wow. But yeah, it's awesome. It's dope.
I saw, just speaking of, okay, you said Young Thug, but
Mm-hmm.
you posted you being published in like a London
Oh,
magazine.
yeah.
And that was I'm not even gonna, I was about to look, but I couldn't find a time to check. That was Travis Scott, right?
Yes.
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 Yes. How is that? Like, did they just find you? Because I think that's interesting. Not only are you like, since undergrad, like you're a national like artist, but now it's like international. So how did that
Right. I think taking those type of routes definitely became possible with the whole gallery thing. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, yes, like you do just get an email and they're like, "Hey, I saw you in this, da 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 da. Like, we'd love to do this," and you're just like, "Wow, bet." And then other times, just being through connected with the galleries, like you see opportunities, like okay, like you might apply to some contest,
Yeah.
and if you win, they put you in the mag. You know what I mean? So stuff like that.
Definitely. So wait, did that magazine contact you?
That particular one did contact me. Yeah, that was a smaller one. And then I think the one after that, I might have reached out to them. But yeah.
I don't know. And I think it's important for people to hear, like, even I feel like at this point, but I like that you hit the thing, like sometimes they'll contact you, but sometimes you even apply. Cause I feel like
For sure.
for people who don't know the process, like like,
Right.
I don't know, I feel like you miss out on opportunities when you don't apply yourself. Like people who are just
100%.
waiting for work, sometimes you'll be waiting forever. Like,
Yeah, for
so
sure.
might
You
as
gotta
well.
go get it.
I think I have like
Mm,
20 more
I'm
questions.
ready. Wow. Okay.
Describe your art style and like 2020 work. Where are you like okay. First, just describe your style in general. It doesn't have to be just now, but like if you had someone hasn't seen your work, like take us on, paint the picture. Like what is your style like? And then talk about 2020 work.
I feel you. I think my style is basically like my stylistic perception of reality. You know what I'm saying? So like if I paint Brea, it's gonna look like Brea. You know what I mean? It's gonna look exactly like you. However, like my work is definitely gonna have almost like a little soul is in there. You know what I mean? Like a certain little attitude will be. You'll be like, yo, that's Brea, but like it's also saying something like on the low. You know what I mean? And yeah, I just like to try to be as realistic as emotionally compelling, and just be me, honestly, because I feel like a lot of times, like it took me the longest time to get to the point where like maybe I don't want to paint like my favorite or paint like another great. Like let me just let my body do what it does, and like somebody's gonna appreciate it. So
no, definitely. And I'm glad you said that, like not trying to paint what you think you should paint or what others think you should paint. Because I think guys, again, I'll show the work, but like when you look at most of your work, it literally, I think what you just said, you're painting what you want. And I think that's key.
For sure.
Just looking, I'm going back to, I remember when you painted like the dude with the motorcycle and he had blonde. That's one of my favorites going back.
Yeah,
And I think what you said, like a little bit of soul, but definitely looking at your work, it's like you have the realistic portrait, or you just have the realistic picture imagery, but it goes deep. Like honestly, it goes deeper than the surface. Like it brings out an emotion.
I appreciate it.
Like I love that in work, because some things be too dry. Like it just
it's like two-dimensional. Like you can't really hit it like that, for sure.
Exactly. So what are some things like that you're working on now, I guess? Like, are you doing more, probably doing everything, but are you doing more commissions, gallery work, just your own personal like projects?
So yeah, I ended up kind of like stopping from commissions like completely, just because as art's gotten like more in my life, it's like it's an emotional like getaway. It's like a therapy in a sense. So like it's hard for me to take something that I love and like respect so much and just do it for somebody else for money. You know what I mean?
Like for me, it'd be like literally what you said. Art for me is like, I honestly tell people it's therapy. Like it's like what you said is like something for your soul. So when you're doing it for someone else, I think it's cool when you get to see their like reaction to something you painted, but the process.
Right. That's what it is. it's the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. But yeah, so less commissions, a few gallery things, but honestly, I think eventually I just want to be like solely independent. So I'm just putting together my first solo, which will be here in the DMV. And
Uh-huh.
again, like we were planning that. Everything was like going online. COVID happened, but the great thing about that is it just gave us so much more time to make
Yeah.
everything better.
Since we're talking about art in a sense, like just having
For
space, like are you
sure.
like you're using it to make art? Or where
Oh,
do you
100%.
even, yeah, where do you even like, what spaces do you find yourself in when you're making art?
Right. Ideally,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm painting, I would love, like, and you're a photographer, so I know you know this. It's like sunlight, in my opinion, is the greatest light form
Yeah,
in the universe. You
that
know what I mean?
natural light, boom.
Everything's perfect. You see it how what it really is.
Mm-hmm.
So I really try to paint areas with a lot of light. Like my kitchen's like mad bright, so sometimes I'll just prop every
I can
part.
see, I can
You know
like
what I mean? And you just let it, and playing some music, and you just like you just be here with it. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely a lot of light. That's like my thing that you got to see. So.
Yeah, so okay, and you're about to make the jump to Baltimore. Using kind of like what you have in a sense, the spaces you have. So like if you're not in your house painting, where
Hmm.
are you?
Man, if I'm not in my house painting,
Or is that like
I'm,
majority where you are when you
yeah. I'm trying to think because I know exactly what you mean. I know in college, like I used to paint in the library for real. That's the
oh,
only place I could, like in McKeldin. You know what I'm saying?
but where?
I would just set up like McKeldin's big, yo.
Yeah, it is.
Like
It
you're in
gotta
the
be
corner doing something, like no one's really gonna bother you, and if they do, they're gonna
that's
show
true.
love. So it's
That's
whatever.
true.
But
Interesting.
yeah, you know what I mean.
Mhm.
But what was I gonna say? When I'm not at the crib, where do I go? Basically, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Where do I work? I mean, honestly, I'll be in the crib a lot, Brea. I'll be in the crib. If I'm not in my crib, I'm at somebody else's crib. And with COVID, like I'm pretty much only at my crib.
Yeah,
But
with
that's why I like it. So
no, exactly. Like it, like you said, it gives you time, but honestly now it gives you like no pressure to go out. Like you're
yeah. I used to be like fine with going out, but I think it's the mask or something. I don't feel like going out, masking up, gloving up. You know what I mean? I'm like, nah, I'm not even that hungry.
no, I hate when I like step out of my car without my mask and then I do that like
Yeah, you gotta go back.
yes.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that I'm like COVID during this time, like just the stay at home stuff has been great. But I want to go back to like, when are we gonna go back? But I wish we
I
could
know
go
what
back
you
to just
mean.
like what you said, no mat. Like I'm tired of worrying about this stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's funny.
I feel you. And then okay, so with your gallery show though,
Mm.
any like insight you can get? Like, are you funding? Like not funding, but are you sponsoring this? Is this something where you're?
Yeah, this is fully independent. Just because it's
Mhm.
like the thing about it is like I can have and I will have. See, that's another whole thing. Like I was supposed to have a show in New York this month, actually. You know what I mean? But COVID. So it's like when it comes down to not having to worry about a partner or a team,
Yeah.
it's pretty much like if you got it, do it. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. And it's like now that we're like
Yeah,
kind of getting older and we have like a little bit more freedom, it's like, yeah,
definitely.
like if you want to, invest into something and you got it set aside, like do your thing. Otherwise, you might be waiting forever, like you
Yeah.
said.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know what year, my show in New York's gonna happen now. Like,
But
but I don't have time for that. You know what I mean?
and
So
yeah, no, and I'm glad you said here in the DMV.
for
So
sure.
okay, with everything, like things are opening up. Like, what is the vision? Not the vision. Obviously, you can't. You won't. We won't ask for everything. But like, are people going to be able to come see the stuff in person?
Oh, for sure, for
In
sure.
person? Yeah.
Yeah, that was the whole point of it was just because like a lot of people, especially in the DMV, people we cool with, people we love,
Mhm.
they only really see my work on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's cool. Instagram's great. But like these are actually like real, like it's real life. So if you can really come in here and like really feel it, I feel
Yeah.
like that would be an awesome, different experience.
Even me, I feel like as I was on your website, like last night, even today, like I feel
Mhm.
like I got to see you in the studio working on things. So I have a little insight,
Right.
but like
It's
you said, everything else has been from basically the digital space. Like so
exactly.
I think that's cool. And like with your work, are you still like working with like large scale, medium? Do you range? What like type of scales do you find
Mhm.
yourself?
Yeah, I'm starting to just try, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I've definitely gotten a lot bigger. I think now I usually work anywhere between like 3 foot by 3 foot, 5 foot by 5 foot. You know what I mean? Like that's like a cool little space for me. You know what I mean? Once you get to like the 10 foots and the 15, I'm like, we'll get there later.
We'll get there.
But yeah, no, I did do a mural like a couple months ago. That was fun. That
Mm-hmm.
was definitely intense. We had to do that in like a day.
Oh.
But yeah, just certain things, just trying things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's what I'm at.
Okay, with the mural in mind, and you said in a day, and we were talking
Yeah.
about pressure. Like, how do
Yeah.
you work through that? Like, I mean, obviously you're skillful, so you can,
Right.
you know what you can do. But still, I feel like it's good to let people know, like, even artists that been out here for 10 years, whatever, we feel pressure. So, like, just how was that journey with the day deadline?
Yeah, no, it was crazy. So basically, we had to paint this mural.
Mm-hmm.
But the studio was closing at the end of, what was it, February? And
Yeah.
if it wasn't leap year this year on the 29th, we wouldn't have been able to shoot it on that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, if we're going to do this at all, it has to be the day. It has to be right. And that's enough. Like, that's enough pressure to get it done. You know what I mean? It's just like, there is no, like, you're just not going to mess up because you can. So you just won't, you know.
What was it of? Or like,
It was, so basically, not to give too much, I mean, people have seen it, but it was essentially, it was shot for theatrical purposes, just to show the work that goes into creating your own gallery. So it was basically a title piece from my show, Clarity. And,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, back. Okay, so when it comes to your art, like more than I hope you're ready for this. More than anything, you want to blink, and by that I just mean when it comes to your art, like where are you? The first part to this is like where are you headed? You know, within your art journey. I mean, we talked about the solo gallery, but even like say like in a year, you kind of talked about New York. Yeah, like just where ideally do you want to go?
Ideally, my long-term goal is just freedom, yo. Like, I just want to be able to, and not even on like a corny sense. Like, I feel like it's almost like you can map it out. Like, for example, like, let's say if I could sell a piece, let's say like, just to put numbers on it to keep it like real simple. If I could sell a piece for like $10,000, right? As long as I sell 10 pieces a year, I'm gonna be quiet. Y'all not gonna see me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's like, so really I'm just looking to a point where I can live happily, comfortably, just doing what I like to do. Like, I don't want a boss, I don't want a manager, I don't want an evaluation at the end of the quarter. Like, I don't care. Just let me be free. So that's what I'm heading for. That's the goal.
Okay. And then the second part to that, which I thought of today, is like when it comes to your art, what is like the legacy you want to like once leave behind? You know, that's a good one. You can think about it.
I think, see, because there's so many.
Give it to like, give me everything now. Like,
All right. Okay, first and foremost, let me think, yo. First and foremost. Okay, I got you. So first and foremost, I want to be able to be successful enough to the point that people can know, like, I'm the same as literally everybody else. So it's like, if I really get it popping, it's like, this is visible proof. You can do it too, like legitimately, like, because like, I don't feel like I'm on some, like, I wasn't sitting down like in a basket. I go like, yo, we're literally all the same human beings, regardless of race, gender, color, sexual orientation, whatever. It's like, if I do something, you could do it too.
My dad, like last year, he told me something like, which I never knew before. And it's weird because I this whole time felt I'm the only artist in the family, right?
I feel you.
Told me like last year, he was like, I'm proud of you. And then within that, he was just like, I used to sketch and draw and stuff, but that wasn't a thing. So I didn't take it there. So I feel like even though more people are out here doing art, even though more brown skinned Black people are doing art, being like a guy, I feel like being a dude to like get out your head and don't focus what the world's gonna think and be a painter, be whatever these things that aren't the you know.
Yeah, nah, for real though. Nah, I feel you. Yeah, it's definitely not a thing. Yeah, like, I know my pops realized I was like on the whole paint thing. Like, he did not get it. He was like, what? Like, he was like, I'm rocking with you. I'm gonna show love, but like, I'd be like, look at this, and he'd be like, huh? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think as a guy, it's definitely, you gotta really be set on it if that's something you want to do. But that's with everything in life. So,
like, where do you pull, if anything, like, you know, if you need inspiration, where do you like find yourself pulling inspiration from?
It's definitely not social media.
Yeah.
For sure. Even other artists that inspire me, I'm more so like, oh, that's cool. But like I don't really like if it's real dope, I'm like, all right, maybe I'll try that one day. But
Yeah.
as far as like real inspiration,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's really like it's whatever's on my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
if I'm like it could be like certain relationships I have with like my homies. Like for example, like the last piece I just did, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Super political, a real
Yes,
statement.
I'm gonna show you guys. But go ahead. No, talk about that piece.
But yeah, it's like one of my boys, he has a nephew. His nephew's like, I don't know, maybe like 4 or something. And the nephew, like his father's not in his life or nothing like that. And he was basically just like, he was talking with his sister. He was like, yeah, man, like, with all this stuff happening, it's like the government don't give a fuck about his life. The police don't give a fuck about his life. His own daddy don't give a fuck about his life. Like shit gets kind of heavy, you know what I mean? So that's when I was like, yo, like I feel like I need to just address this shit on my shoulders. And that's why, like, if you look in the top left corner, you'll see him and his nephew. And he's just chilling there holding him, like on graduation day. But
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like stuff like it's like real life, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's an actual nod to like, oh,
I read that you like pull from emotion pretty much, or like personal things you're going through, relationships, and music plays a part too during your process. I think that's dope. I just had to say that because I'm a very like, at a younger age, everyone would be like, "You're sensitive. You're what?" No, I feel like I'm just in touch with my emotional side, and from the same sense, it seems like you are too. I don't know if that's an artist thing. It could be like, I try to say, besides just being an artist, like where I'm at, it's also like a human thing. Like that's just
yeah,
me.
it's a personal thing for sure.
Yeah. So that's cool for everyone to know where you pull from. Do you study like artists in a sense, or have you ever studied artists? Because I was gonna ask you your favorite.
Right. I I go back and forth because
Mhm.
like if you study an artist, you will end up painting exactly like them. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Subconsciously, like even if you really like an artist, stuff will start to seep through.
Hmm.
But recently, I have started to study just because it's like, why not learn like a secret technique or something? Because it's almost like, I don't know, like karate or something. Like why not learn like the hidden like dragon fist or something? You know what I mean?
Oh, I
Like
tell you.
so. But yeah, it's like that's when I really started to like realize I was like, oh wait, like I actually care about this. Like I want to learn about it. So
Mhm.
for sure.
When it comes to like when you started diving into paintings, I don't know if this is high school, painting class in college, or even after. When was that moment though, where you were like, if you even have that moment, you might still be developing that. Like when you're like, this is my style. This is what I want to paint.
Ooh, I would say when I really found my style, I think your style definitely changes. So it's
Yeah,
like you'll
exactly.
probably have at least like 2 of those or 3 of those
Mhm.
moments. And I think when was it? Let me really think. When was it? If it's June, I would say maybe like last June, maybe a year ago. You
Ooh,
know
that's
what I mean?
interesting.
Was when I was really like I could just be myself. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Because like it's one of them things like it's always gonna be somebody out there that can do a better like gradation than you, or somebody
Yeah.
out there that does better portraits than you. It's like it's always like you never gonna hit them all. So I'm just like, you know what? Like let me just
Let
do
me
what
be
I
me.
do.
Yes, let
You
me
know
do
what
what
I
I
mean? And
know.
then like because people are gonna like like yo, it not even sound corny because I heard this on the Drake song the other day, where he was like the things you can't. What do you say? He said the things I can't change are the reasons you love me. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And
yes,
it's
I know.
like
I know that lyric.
you know what I mean? Like just by like just like the shit that I don't really get, like I don't care for, like y'all like it. So I'm like maybe I should start to like it and we could just
Hmm.
chill.
Even not even like, I mean, I love Drake. So Drake. So when you
I
said not to
feel
be
you. I
corny,
feel
when you said not to be corny, I kind of laughed in my head because I know why you said it that way. Like
you.
people
Feel me though.
love to come for Drake. People, but he be saying things where it's just
You
like,
do, you do.
just even outside of Drake, it's like no one can do what you do. No one has like the vision that you have. So like when you said a gradation, they might be really bomb at that. They might be really like, yeah, but like it's like, what are you good at? Your vision. No one else has that
Right.
shit.
Nobody else can take that. You know what I'm saying? So
Definitely. But I don't know. How do you find the imagery that you do use? How do you choose? You know what I
right.
mean? Obviously, I mean, you can even tell us about that. When it comes to a painting and say you're painting me, how do you start? Do you start with like an image, like a picture, or do you try to go off of just memory. I don't know, and it probably bounces.
Right.
Right now, how do you start?
If I was actually gonna paint you like legit, so I would probably take photos. And the only reason why I take photos is I like to mess with compositions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically, I might take a photo of you looking one way, then looking another way, and then some other whatever, and then bring it into Photoshop, whatever. And then that way you can measure out your canvas on there, see how it's really gonna look.
Yeah.
And I want one of her here, one overlapping it, and one in the corner of her eyebrow or something. And it's like, if you want to get it to the inch by inch, like that's why I like it, because that way I know exactly where the end is gonna be at, instead of trying to like, I don't like figuring it out on the way. I like kind of having a start and end.
It can get frustrating. I feel like that's something
lost, like.
No, and I think that's cool. Like for whoever's watching this, I feel like they're gonna be, if they weren't thinking about Photoshop, using that when it comes to like going back to painting. That was a gem, because even that's when I've gotten frustrated, when you try to figure out as you go and you're just like, it's not
My big thing, I remember one time I did a portrait of Beyonce, and it came out hella tight, but like she just wasn't in the right position, and I'm like, damn, like I ended up cutting it out because it was so annoying. But it's like, if I would have just mapped it, it would have been good. So
before we go, two things. Well, we already can expect the gallery coming up, so everyone, if you're in the DMV, expect that. What month did you say?
We gotta see, man. We gotta see the situation. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you. Playing it day by day, step by step. I'm gonna put it up, but where can the people find you at?
Man, I'm on everything at _G.Pack, GPack. That's me.
Yes. Easy, straight to it. Go follow him. Stay in touch. I'm gonna stay in touch. So even if y'all don't, I will